All right, good afternoon, everyone. We are back, and normally we've been doing our Life Drive reviews, but
this is a little different today.
I wonder if there's anything going on in the world of news today, recently. I just don't know what people are talking about. I know what it is. It is the coronavirus.
Yes, as known as COVID-19.
COVID-19, and I like the title that John gave this. It's HHC versus COVID-19.
That's right.
Because we're in a battle, and we're going to talk to our church primarily today. If anybody else sees this, it's not part of our church. It's a bonus. Maybe it'll help you as well. But we're really thinking about some things about the church, and we want to give you clarity on the direction that we're going. And I dressed up for the occasion for you today. Obviously, I feel good.
Yeah.
Actually had a funeral for one of our HHC members, Nancy Ross, passed away recently, and I did her funeral service today up in the Greenwood area, so I didn't have a chance to change, but
looking very presidential today.
Our
leader, our pastor. Maybe we should have called it State of the HHC or State of the Union.
State of the Church address.
There we go.
And you know that it's spring because on my walk over here to the gathering place where we're doing this Facebook Live, I hit 14 spider webs, I think. And so that's a sign that spring is in the air. Because if you see things waving behind me like little strands, that is spider. That's not me growing hair again. I wish that it was, but it's spider webs. But we want to jump right in. I know that everyone's wondering what's going on. Last Sunday, which was a couple days ago, the government mandate was pretty much 250 people in a single room. That quickly changed on Monday to 50. And obviously that's a game changer for our church because of our size. And so we had a long discussion about this in staff meeting because we want to do what's right and what's correct, but we don't, we just want to do what is right and correct. And what we decided to do was go ahead and close down the next few weeks at Hoosier Harvest Church. We are still going to do live streaming, so you will get a live church service with music, with preaching, a message. We might mix it up a little bit. I might do a message. John might do a message. We might do something together to address some things on a Sunday morning. But we'll be creative and figure it out. At this point, Easter is going to be a live stream as well. So, and we look at these decisions, and I'm going to put this out right now. I'm just going to get this out of the way, then we're going to give you some logistics. But the staff knows my personality, and as the coronavirus was getting more and more news and more panic, I think in some ways, and more in our brains and in our ears, I personally was thinking internally that everything was an overreaction, especially a couple of weeks ago into maybe last week. And if you know me well enough, if I think something's a little overblown or a little silly, I have a tendency to be vocal. I have a tendency to be frustrated and opinionated. So it's one of those things where I was, we're going to have church, and we're going to do this, and let's see what we can get away with. We want to be legal. We want to follow after the ordinances. I'm all about that. But I was like, what can we do to still have church? And then, so when the governor came out on Monday, he mentioned, I figured it would be reduced to 50. I saw that coming. And before the governor came on, I knew it'd be a recommendation probably and not a mandate. So I emailed my good friend, and I'm sure Charles will be okay if I mention his name, but Charles Sarles is a state trooper. He's an officer of a pretty high rank, and he's just a great guy, great supporter of HHC, one of my good friends. And I emailed him for advice. And I said, Charles, I know that they're going to make a recommendation, but I really, at Hoosier Harvest Church, just want to go with what the legalities are, not just the recommendations, but the legalities, because that might give us more freedom to meet. And so I sent that to Charles, and Charles sent me a reply, and I want to give him a shout out because he really adjusted my perspective, because I was gripey. I was like, boy, I think this is maybe a little bit overblown, and we're going too far in some of the suggestions, recommendations, mandates. And his response to me was just classic. He basically said, well, Chris, I think you're looking at it wrong, with all due respect. He said, this is something that our government is putting out, something that our governor of Indiana, who I highly respect, by the way, is putting out some recommendations because he doesn't want to have to put out you have to. And he is putting these recommendations out for our safety and such and such. And he said, if I'm not mistaken, I have a pastor and a friend where I attend church who preaches very heavily on authority and respecting that authority, whether you agree with that authority or not, to have some respect for that authority, get on board, everybody go the same direction, everybody move the same way, whether you agree with it or not, and let's get this thing done. Let's get this virus, kicked, get it done. And if this is going to speed it up, some of these stricter ordinances, if that's going to speed it up, so be it. So I am on board, and I'm respecting the authorities that are putting down these not suggestions, but recommendations, and even sometimes there's some law. Yeah. So I just want you to know I had a real change of heart on Monday, and I want to share that with you that are out there that are still going, well, I just can't believe how crazy the world is and how all these strict mandates are so stupid and so dumb, and because I was a little bit there myself, and kind of had to flip and, the lack of a better term, repent, and say I need to flip my thinking, change my thinking around, and I have. And I appreciate Charles he works in the government. He's in the middle of this thing, and he really helped me get some perspective on being a good citizen and moving the same direction. Whether you agree with it or not, whether it is overextended or not, doesn't matter. Let's get on board and work in one direction, get this virus whipped, get it moved on, and let's get back to regular life. So I wanted to definitely start with that because it was something that it was just a real change of heart for me on Monday. So if hopefully that'll help some of you, and I think we're all on board now to where we are moving forward.
Well, I think we've got to look out for our people, right? I mean, we're in the people business, right? Being a follower of Christ is all about people, and we want to keep people safe. We want to do everything we can to be an authority, to help each other. And all that, and if the recommendation is coming down from our leaders, hey, the safest thing right now to do is just to kind of shut down some things. We just trust that, hey, if it's going to help people, whether we're connected directly to them or not, it's about helping out our neighbor, loving our neighbor as we would love ourselves. And I think we would want ourselves to be as healthy as we could be, but we also need to believe that for our neighbors and that. So if this is going to help do that, then we as a church really need to be supportive of that, be behind it, regardless of where we land on, how extreme we think it is, or maybe even how it's not extreme enough. Whatever it is, we just want to be. We want to be in there. So yeah, I think really right now is a time for us as a church to really rally together. We've got to understand that God's going to do something in the middle of this. That with every challenge and problem that comes, there's always an opportunity. And we've got to look at this thing the right way, not get frustrated, not be upset with, but it's changing this in my life, it's changing this, it's inconvenient, I think it's this, and I think it's that, and why aren't we doing this?
Yeah, which it is.
Yeah, we just kind of say, listen, let's stop focusing on the problem and let's focus on the opportunity. What's the opportunity that God is wanting to do right now? If we can keep our eyes there, then it's going to help our emotions, it's going to help a lot of our frustrations or inconveniences or fears or whatever it is that you're dealing with. Let's focus on the opportunity. And that's what we're trying to do as a church, is saying, okay, what opportunity is this for us? One, it's an opportunity to be a part and respect authority. And to practice everything we preach, and you've taught so many years about authority. So it's a time for us to practice that. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for us as a church to do our part just to help the world, help people, and keep them safe and those things. But then there's some other opportunities here, and I think that we've been preaching over almost 2 years this HHC Strong, right? You've got the band right here.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but that's the HHC Strong band. That's been one of our themes.
We've been talking about that for years, and now is a time for us to practice what it means to be HHC Strong like we've never done before. I mean, are we going to lean in? Are we going to serve and help as much as we can our community? Are we going to still be a part and stay connected even though we're not physically coming together on Sundays? Are we going to stay a part of being a part of that live stream and hearing the message and connecting with other people in a virtual environment? Are we going to continue that giving and support of the church? and so that we can continue to go on and stay strong in the midst of this kind of crisis. So there's so many opportunities here to practice everything we've taught for years, and specifically the last 2 years with HHC Strong. It's an opportunity.
The main demographic that's getting nailed with this virus is the over 60 crowd. That's I think we've all heard that. We have a couple of people at HHC that are over 60, and I say a couple facetiously because we've probably got 100 people at Hoosier Harvest Church over the age of 60 that are members here. And so we are going to discuss this. Actually, later this afternoon we have a staff meeting after we do this Facebook Live, and we're going to discuss some possibilities on what we can do to maybe reach out to them, make sure that they have what they need. And we will let you know, we'll keep you posted on some of those decisions we make if you can be involved in helping with that as well, because the older population, the older demographic, they are going to stay in, and they should stay in. I would agree with that, at least for now, not out of fear, but just out of wisdom. And I know some of our elderly, for instance, that have injuries and so forth. So it's going to be tough for them, even if they did want to get out. So we're going to check in with them and try to have some system and an opportunity that if they need supplies, if they need help in any way, that we're going to be HHC Strong and take care of them first. So I want to let you know that that's on our mind. We're working on that. I want to give a shout out to Chuck Eckert. We were in a phone conversation last night, and he mentioned something along the lines of really making that a priority, of looking at the elderly in our church, or at least over 60. Don't be offended if you're 61 and I called you elderly, but just the 60 and over crowd is really the ones that are almost primarily being affected at such a higher percentage of everybody else. So that's what we've got planned as well. And I think that the live stream, again, let me make this clear. We are only going to live stream, so we're not going up to 50 people at the church. Like, let's cut it off when we get. We're just asking nobody come. Let's just keep this simple. By the time we have our staff here, our AV team, our music team, we're going to be creeping up towards 20 or 30 people anyway. So it's and you can only have 50 in a space. So let's just stick home. And but here's where we need your help. Obviously, the HHC Strong is going to go with the support, but you guys know where I'm going, probably next. The biggest challenge that all churches have across the nation, not just at Hoosier Harvest Church, is we depend on financial offerings that are taken up on Sunday morning. It is really 98% of our income stream. And we've been able to sustain and pay our bills for 25 years in a row. And so I'm not worried about it. I'm not panicking, but I would be amiss if I didn't let you know that is easily going to be our greatest challenge, is to try to keep on budget, which currently our budget runs about $13,000 a week. I was very encouraged by, we had about a third of our crowd, because we did have a standard last Sunday where 250 was the standard, so we were able to have somewhat of a service with people here. And I was expecting a pretty big hit on our finances, just for obvious reasons. And HHC Strong happened. And Monique, our financial secretary, told us right before we came on the air here that we had, I think, close to an $11,000 week this week, and that's with a third of our people. So that means that a lot of you did give online. And a lot of you did.
Response to it,
we were talking about that. Our whole staff was like, "Thank you, HHC."
It was strong. Our online presence. I mean, we probably tripled our online stream of just views, so people were still staying connected. Our giving was over, I think, double what it typically is. So thank you so much for staying connected, even from a virtual environment. I'm so glad we invested year and a half or so ago to do live stream, to do online giving. Thank God we were prepared for something like this as a church. There's so many churches that probably aren't, that haven't been able to do that, but we have been doing live stream, giving online, and all that, text to give, so many different opportunities. So, we were prepared for it. So thank you guys for really doing it. So many people responded to that last week. And we would encourage you, just logistically, Of course, on Sunday morning at 10 a.m., we're going to do our live stream. You can tune in here on Facebook, on YouTube. We have a live stream, and on our website at hhchurch.com, you can also access the live stream. We want to encourage everybody to share that. I mean, when we go live on Sunday, be with us, be a part, and right at 10 a.m., I know you can watch it later in the day, but try to be there live. There's just something cool that happens when we're all together. But share that, get the word out. So that we can just reach our spread. It may be a great opportunity for people to watch church on a Sunday that would never come to church, and maybe it'll open the door once this all passes over for people to actually physically come out. But you can also give online. Now, I'm going to give you 3 ways that you can still support the church and still do our part as a team, as a family, to continue the momentum. There's 3 different ways that you can give. One is you can still just drive by our mailbox right here at the church.
That's true.
We've got a drop box. It's safe, secure.
It's our physical mailbox on the road.
Our physical mailbox. You can literally just put your offering in an envelope and just drop it in. It'll drop into a lock box in there. So there's an opportunity to give through that. So you can physically still drive by the church and do that. The other 2 ways that you can give digitally. One is one of our most popular ones is on our website. At hhchurch.com, right on our homepage at the top right, there's a little tab that says Give, and it's all safe and secure through PayPal, which 99% of you use PayPal. It's the #1 most secure and safe way to give online through any platform. The whole world uses it. But you can give through that on PayPal. You can actually set up reoccurring giving, so you could just automatically have it doing whatever you would choose to do, or you can just give one time and do that. The third way that you can give is text to give. This is a really simple way, just right on your phone. And we'll post this in the thread and later throughout the week and that. But the number is 844-302-0552. If you text Give HHC, one word, GIVEHHC, one word, and you text that number, it'll give you a little link that you click on. You'll set up a one-time registration. It's all safe and secure. And then from then on, all you do once your account is set up, you just type Give HHC, and then you just put in the amount. So 50 or 5,000 or whatever it is. A million.
We're not going to say.
We won't put a limit on.
Yeah, right.
But you just type Give HHC and then the number that you want to give, and it just automatically goes through. It'll notify you, say thanks for giving, all that. So simple. We'll post all these ways in today and later today and the days to come, just so that everybody can remember and it's kind of in front of everybody. But we want to encourage you that in this season, come up with a plan for giving. With you, your spouse,
that's
or
the key.
whatever.
What John just said is the key.
Have a plan of what you're going to do over the next, who knows, 2, 3, 4 weeks, however long this goes on with our country. Just have a plan to say, you know what, we're going to keep that momentum up. We believe, and we don't say this lightly, we're just speaking from Scripture, that God opens up blessing. He says, test me in this. See if I won't open up the blessings and pour those out. So we want to encourage you just to continue to give and do our part as a church, to continue the church to do what we need to do. And just trust that God's going to bless that. We know it's a shaky time right now and that with our country, but we believe that in the midst of that, when we stand strong in faith, that God honors that, He blesses that. So those are 3 ways that you can still remain a part from the giving, from tuning in live and being here. Let's stay in community. Let's not lose momentum. More importantly than anything is
stay positive.
Yeah, stay positive, stay connected. Don't disengage, right? This whole social distancing doesn't mean like, social isolating in the sense that you're just done. It just means distant.
We're too close.
We are a little close.
That's right.
But we have to be for the video.
Yeah.
But we're healthy, so we're good.
Yes.
But we just want to encourage you to stay connected. Let's be HHC Strong. Tune into those streams. Share those streams. Have a plan for giving. You can give in one of those 3 ways: physically at our mailbox, online at our website through PayPal, or text to give through your phone and that. So there's just so many ways that people can stay.
A couple things too. We understand that some of you are maybe going to take a little bit of a financial hit yourself, whether it's through work and this. So use wisdom. I mean, we don't want to browbeat or anything like that. We've never been that way when it's come to giving, but we feel like giving is important. We feel like it's part of our worship. But we, use your discretion, and don't be offended because we are, asking for a variety of different ways. The second thing is this: Dana and I are check writers. We've been check writers for 30 years of our marriage, but I think we're definitely considering trying to digital form ourselves. Even though obviously I can stop by the church and bring it in, I think I know that once we get it set up, it's going to be way more convenient than probably writing out a check. So for those of you that aren't digital givers, this might be a great opportunity to try something different and try something new, and you very well will probably stick with it after the fact, after this virus is over as well. So be encouraged to try something different as well. I just got as we're talking, a text from Tomi Bice. She is a member here at HHC, and she's also a nurse, and she's at St. Francis, and she was working at the hospital. Second Indiana resident passed away. It was a gal last night at the hospital where Tori works, and she said at the hospital things are really crazy. It's not just like, okay, somebody passed away, they got sick from the virus, but just the effect that has on the whole hospital. So many people are in isolation. So many, because they're sick too. They haven't been proven they have the virus, but it's just chaotic and trying to manage everything there. And of course, it hasn't even peaked yet. So I really have a heart for those that are working in healthcare right now, and so forth. And we appreciate Tori. Tori said, "Hey, this is real." So any skeptics out there, that think, well, this is overblown, she says in her world, it's definitely not. And not only with maybe a few people passing away from it, and I'm sure that unfortunately there'll be more, but she said just every minute to minute in the hospital is absolute chaotic. And so we'll be covering and praying for them as well. As far as John, we'll be checking back in. With them. I don't know if there's anything else we need to say today.
No, I think the last thing I think we need to leave everybody with is this, and I kind of mentioned earlier, but there is an opportunity here, and you can focus on the problem or you can focus on the opportunity. And I would encourage everybody watching this. We're all trying to navigate through it. We're all trying to figure out what we do, whether it's financially, just with our lifestyle. Certainly the virus just itself and staying healthy. There's so much going on right now. I want to encourage you to just say, God, what do you want me to do? What do you want to teach me? What do you want to do in my life in this moment? And I don't know what that looks like. Maybe that's just calling you to a higher level of prayer and just really digging in for our country and our world. Maybe that's where God wants you to do something. We mentioned this, maybe us as a church doing some things for the elderly. Maybe it's an opportunity to say, hey, I'm healthy, I'm strong. I would love to be able to do something, even if it's I go to the grocery and pick something up for somebody and deliver it. Maybe it's your neighbors, maybe just the people that live around you, literally knowing that there's some elderly folks just knocking on a door. I know that's, keep a distance and maybe put on a mask and say, hey, I'm just asking, is there anything that I can do for you? Or reaching out to people and that. Just ask God, what is it that He wants you to do right now? Because I guarantee you there's something. That God's not up there. He's number one, He's not surprised, obviously. Two, there's always an opportunity. We always see this throughout history. Whenever there's a shaking, there's on the back end of that, God is always doing something. It's setting something up for something to happen. What the enemy is trying to do for evil, God uses for good. What the enemy is trying to do to destroy, God always has another side to it. And I just want to encourage you to say, you know what, God, I'm not going to be fearful about the problem. I'm going to be in prayer about the opportunity. I'm going to ask you, God, what can I do? What is it you want to teach me? What is it that you want me to do to lean in and to become stronger, to become more faith-filled, whatever that may be. And I just want to encourage you in that, because for every one of you, wherever you're at, if you're like, hey, this is crazy, it's an overreaction, or you're filled with fear, I don't care where you're at, you just say, God, what do you want to do in me through this? What do you want me to do?
John, I'm gonna bridge on that, and we're going to close, but I got an idea while you were talking. Most of our church members are going to see this video. And so if you made it till the end, then
thanks for hanging in.
Thanks for hanging in there, number one. But we're closing. But when a pastor says we're closing, it means nothing. But
we
really
minutes.
are. We really are. But here's the key. If you are a member of HHC, if you call HHC your home church, I want you to take this challenge. If there is someone that you know in the church, I mean, neighbors, that's fine as well, but first and foremost, in the church, at Hoosier Harvest Church, your church, that is over 60, and you are an acquaintance with them or friends with them, I want you to contact them. I want you to check on them and let them know you are on standby for them, and that you can be the first person that they contact if they need a run. Because what they'll probably need more than anything is maybe a run to the store or something like that for some kind of supplies, and that you will be that person. Just let them know that. And I think if 50 or 100 or 150 or 200 of our members that are healthy or don't need to or aren't over 60 and in risk can call our folks that are over 60, that would be marvelous. I would love for you to think about doing that. And just let this be an organic movement. We'll still have a plan. We'll still talk about what the church can do as a institution for those that are in our church that are over 60. But I want you to do it organically. That's the challenge. And so we'll leave you with that, and we will bring you some more posts and more updates as well. I think we've gone on long enough, but it's an important message today. Yeah, help us spread the word. You can share the video. It would help us tremendously just getting in front of other people so they know what's going on and kind of hear from us. But we would encourage you to do that. Just help us get the word out. Be a beacon of hope right now. Be light in the darkness. And we just encourage you in that. And we'll see you, as of now at least, on the live stream. On Sunday morning, we'll see you we'll make it on this screen. This too shall pass. That's right. We'll bring you the word. We'll bring you the message and everything else. And I'll give you there we go. We'll check out with the HHC Strong.
Nice. See you guys.